Welcome back, everybody. This week we're going to look at the question of, does shellac stick to anything? Let's get to it. Today we're going to look at the adhesion of these three primers, okay? And we're looking at the adhesion on a piece of UV plywood, okay? Nothing wants to stick to this stuff generally. So what I want to do is I want to look at each one and see. So what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of two different tests. We're going to do like a crosshatch test, and I'm going to put tape on it and rip it off. And then I'm also going to take a nail set or a quarter and scratch down through it and see how well it adhered to each one. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these and see what happens. Okay, so what I've done for my crosshatch test, now they make a little tester for this and probably more accurate, but you know, we're doing it this way. So what I did was just made a series of cuts, and I'm gonna stick this tape on there and rip it off. All right, I want to make sure I get it on there good, and we'll see what comes off. Whoa, let me get it. All right, so that's the shellac. Not too bad, actually, pretty good. Vinyl sealer. All right, that's what we're looking at there. We can actually see that better because it's white. Look at the poly primer. Let me get a good edge. All right, there's the poly primer. Okay, so let's look at the quarter. Get this in there. Let's take a quarter and do a scratch test with a quarter. This is shellac unsanded. All right, that's peeling up pretty good. And then let's look at a nail punch. All right, so that's with the crosshatch, quarter test, nail punch. All right, so let's look at the quarter unsanded. Peeled that off, no problem. All right, so there's our crosshatch, quarter, nail punch. Nail punch. Okay, so it's clear that the poly primer destroyed both of those, okay? Let's take a look at the difference between the vinyl sealer and the shellac, all right? So here's our crosshatch. There's our quarter test. And then there's our nail punch. So I would say that the shellac edges it out just slightly over the vinyl sealer in terms of adhesion on an unsanded piece. Okay, it's not drastic, but I do think that it is a little bit, has a little bit better adhesion. So I'm interested to see when we flip these over and do the sanded side what the difference is. So let's flip them over and do the sanded side. Okay, so we're going to look at the crosshatch on the shellac with the UV material sanded to a 150 grit scratch. All right, very good. Pretty much nothing. That's really good. Great. All right, let's look at the quarter. All right, we're just denting the wood. We're just denting the wood. All right, awesome. All right, let's take a look at the vinyl sealer, the crosshatch. All right, pretty much nothing on that one. All right, let's look at the quarter. dent in the wood. Alright, dent in the wood. Alright. Let's look at the poly primer. Alright, really nothing there. And nothing there. Okay, so when we look at these and compare them and contrast them, I can't really see a whole lot of difference. What's kind of interesting here on the vinyl sealer compared to the poly primer is it kind of leaves a mark, like a gray mark, whereas you don't get that on the poly primer. So that tells me that this is much harder than this. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. So this is the vinyl sealer here, and that's the poly primer. You really can't tell much difference. And then this is the shellac, which you can't really see much of any of it because it's on gray on the blue background. But I think that these are pretty close to the same on this. As far as if you sand the surface, then you're going to get a great adhesion on all of them. Alright guys, so what's my final thoughts on the adhesion test? Well, I think for an unsanded surface, I think the poly primer definitely wins, which makes sense because it's a metal primer. I think the shellac edges out the vinyl sealer slightly, which I was actually kind of surprised because I figured that the vinyl sealer had more solvents in it. But it's just kind of the way it worked out on that. So as far as when you sand the surface, I think they all have really great adhesion, and the only way to really tell which one had better adhesion in that case is to actually have a pull tester, but they're about $1,600 to $2,000. So if we get enough people going on this channel, then I might buy one. But for what we're doing right now, it's just not, I can't justify a $2,000 purchase to test you know, how many psi's it takes to pull it off of the surface. So we'll just have to go with what we got. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you get these weekly updates, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.